Jeff, we're here at CES and sustainability is one of the key themes. Now you've just announced for the automotive industry one of the first carbon footprint tracking pilots. What are you up to?
Yeah, so Kevin, it's been a great CES for IBM, and I'm really here in two capacities. One, I'm the General Manager for IBM Global Manufacturing, but I'm also on the Catena-X Board of Directors. And part of Catena-X, we have a mission and a vision that thinks, when you look across the automotive supply chain, the greatest challenges can only be solved by really incorporating all the players in the supply chain, from OEM to Tier 1, all the way down to Tier N, and from raw materials all the way to finished goods. And the only way you can accomplish that is by really radical collaboration. One of those challenges is sustainability, as you said. Product carbon footprint is a huge challenge. And so companies like Ford and Flex and others are facing this reporting with increased regulations from governments, NGOs, and investors. How do I get accurate data? How do I validate? How do I automate reporting? All these are challenges today. IBM, what we bring to the table is supply chain intelligence suite software that enables you to capture, track, and report on this technology. So we're really excited to be working with T-Systems and Flex and Ford on this solution.
Andre, why is tracking of the product carbon footprint so important for Ford?
Ford's strategy is to achieve carbon neutrality across our European facilities and supply base by 2035, according to the European regulations. Our supply base are playing a key role because without their support, we are not be able to achieve it. Besides our internal strategies, we have external factors like NGOs, customers, and the regulatory pressure around the globe. Everybody is calling then for this global footprint information. Ford and the industry facing the challenges to collect proper, validated, and comparable data in a consistent approach across the supply chain and downstream and later on also upstream.
So why did you turn to Catena-X to do this?
Let me explain this way. Responsible, transparent, and sustainable supply chains are a key for successful change in the automotive industry in order to move to an electrified future. By defining these data standards where Catena-X helps us, this assures the data exchange, Catena-X provides a strong base for a collaborative effort, that means within the association with all the partners there. And that is important for all businesses in the industry. Joining Catena-X in beginning of 2023, that was a significant step forward for Ford to achieve carbon neutrality because this network setup established data standards. Now that is important why we are joining Catena-X, using this data standards and to convince our supply base. So Catena-X enabled us a standardized CO2 reporting, even then for the external partners.
So Nicole, why is tracking the product carbon footprint? Why is this so important for the automotive industry?
Well, Kevin, as the automotive industry has been advancing towards a lot more complex electronics components, as you know, and that there's reaching these goals of the sustainability and reduced emissions, the entire supply chain is being asked to come up with primary data to support product carbon footprint, and it's a huge gap right now. There's no standardization that exists today, and there's no mechanism in which we're able to pull that data together, as Jeff mentioned earlier. So this new demo and this pilot that we're doing with Catena-X is a commercially viable, commercially ready solution that's able to take data safely and seamlessly, really, and provide that with the proper product carbon footprint calculation and tracking across the entire ecosystem of the automotive to just try to advance that process forward.
You mentioned, right, it's a pilot, but this isn't a demo. This isn't a proof of concept. This is ready to rock and roll for commercially.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is sort of the kickoff here at CES, so we're really excited to do this with all our partners, including Ford. Just to kind of give a little bit of a background, Flex is a design and manufacturing partner for very complex modules, systems, components for Ford Motor Company. And so we basically took one of these products and to use it as the basis for this pilot. And again, being able to take that data from Flex and then our supply chain all the way through and be able to exchange that product carbon footprint data based on Catena-X standards in this process.
In my career, I've been involved in some such projects. These things are incredibly complex. What's under the covers here to make it all work?
Very good question. So I'm Chris Langdon. I'm here in two capacities. The one, I am an executive with Deutsche Telekom. It's the parent company of T-Mobile. The other one is I'm one of the key developers of the Catena-X data ecosystem, one of the product managers. So yes, we deal with under the hood issues every day, essentially, currently. Great question. What is new about it, actually, right? What is new and why would anybody care about it? The technology. Right? The groundbreaking new thing is that people can share data while maintaining control of the data. That has been a very big problem in many use cases, particularly the one that we showcase here, PCF across a supply chain, where we have to facilitate cross-organizational data sharing. So the technology does that. Now the question is, well, how does the technology do this? Well, it's a complicated system that has been implemented, but in a nutshell, 3 levels of control. The first one is authentication. So you're known who you are in the system. You know, think of it being you have your government-issued ID in essence, right? We can trace you, find you, and locate you. That's one. The second one is you can decide who can see the data that you provide to the system. There's access control to this. You can blacklist, you can whitelist, right? You don't want a competitor to see the data, you can do this actually. The system allows you to do it.
And if I may, I believe you can actually granularly break down the data.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I can see a certain set of your data, someone else might see a superset or a smaller set.
Absolutely, very true. And then on top of it, you determine the conditions. So it's not that someone can grab it. No, they have to accept your usage policy. And there's a range of different policies that we make available. And then probably most importantly, the fundamental architecture is one that is decentralized. And it's not a data storage repository. So it's not a big pool, a big database, or any other
data
type of data
sky.
storage. It's not. It's an entirely distributed system. So the data always resides with you. And you know who the other party is having access to your data. And then also they have to accept your usage policy in order to grab it. So you're in total control of the data. And that is what makes this not just new, but it makes it better and groundbreaking because it is facilitator for many other business models and applications.
And because it is a standard, maybe that the entire industry can adopt, but then they have safety, that no one's going to be stealing their data, right? It's right across the food chain.
Absolutely. You hit on a very important word that is a standard. And how do we do this? Well, that's where the Catena-X initiative comes in. Many companies have been coming together to agree. Competitors, really competitors have come together to agree on a particular set of technologies. And I think that's what makes it powerful going forward. You can trust it. That'll be your solution actually going forward.
Industry solution.
Yes,
across
absolutely.
The global industry solution.
Absolutely. Supply chains are global, for example. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I may,
Yes.
your other hat, where does T-Systems, what are you bringing to the party?
Well, we are a communications company. Another way looking at what we do is to say, well, we go beyond voice. We did voice, then we moved on to video signals, right? You can watch TV on your phone. And now we want to actually offer something that we often refer as a data dial tone in essence, right? Now suddenly we are in a data exchange business. We facilitate it. Just like a phone call, right? We don't listen into your phone call. We don't care actually with whom you're talking and what you're talking about. So it's somewhat naturally more a telecom business. We are neutral, facilitator, of the exchange, and that's exactly required in this particular new field of data exchange.
Because you've got the standard, people can be confident that their data is not going to go astray, they own it, they know who's accessing it, they allow that, and then you have a secure and reliable way of getting the data around.
Absolutely, and we are known as a neutral participant in this entire setup, yes. And we know how to run big networks.
So Nicole, you've launched at CES, this is ready. For anyone out there in the automotive supply chain, what's your call to action?
I'd say to all the suppliers out there for automotive, now's the time to do it. I mean, we're being proactive, we're steering the ship. The regulations are coming. It's better to get in front of it than wait for it to come and then being dragged into it.
Now, Jeff, the other huge theme here at CES this year is generative AI.
Yes.
You had sessions on it last night. You know, it's a huge focus for you.
Right.
Where does GenAI play into all this?
Well, that's where it gets really exciting. So once you have captured and automated accurate data that you can validate and report on, now you can leverage technologies like generative AI. IBM has Watson-X, for example, that you can now take a much more proactive approach to how do I optimize my supply chain for carbon footprint, for financial reasons, and many other aspects. But that is where this is all going, and we are very excited about the future.
Hey, good stuff. Thanks very much.
PCF data exchange using Connect and Integrate standard from Telecom Data Intelligence Hub is a breeze. Just navigate to the manual upload tab and provide your part description using the part as planned submodel. Continue by defining access and usage policies to define who is able to access your data. Let's select the business partner Ford as our OEM and not restrict the usage. Now we have to repeat this process to provide our BOM and the PCF values using related submodels. Meanwhile, the OEM logs into Catena-X portal and is able to find the Connect and Integrate standard app. Once selected, the OEM navigates to the Consume Data tab, selects its supplier and the corresponding connector, and is prompted with its data offers, including the provided PCF data. Now he simply selects the PCF data offer, agrees to the contract, and it promptly downloads the data. Finally, he is able to calculate his own PCF values.